Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing fine. Welcome back to another exciting tutorial, and this time we're going to create a 3D icon from a 2D image in After Effects. And obviously we'll add the trail animation like this too. Interestingly, I have made the same tutorial on DaVinci Resolve Fusion 2. If you navigate my channel, you'll find that tutorial here. I'll try my best to continue the series and create same tutorial for Fusion and Adobe After Effects too. So if you love this idea, just let me know. So let's start creating 3D icon from a 2D image in Adobe After Effects. We'll start by creating a new composition and let's call it Icon Trail Tutorial. I'm going to set the frame rate to 25. Let's navigate to 3D render. Currently it is Cinema 4D, but the default should be Classic 3D. So we'll come back here later and everything is fine. Let's press OK. I think it will be fun if we use the DaVinci logo and make it 3D in Adobe After Effects. Now the image is just a PNG image and you can see that here. Now select the image and navigate to Layer and Auto Trace. The setting you can see here on the Auto Trace setting is perfectly fine for me and it is 2 to 1050. It might be different for your case and I think the result is fine because the red outline is same as our PNG image. Make sure to check Apply to New Layer and finally press OK to create a new layer with the mask. If you now press M on the keyboard, it will show the mask on this layer. As you can see, the mask is already animatable because the stopwatch is switched on. So I'm going to switch it off because I don't want any animation on this path. Also, I don't want 20-second animation. So go to 10 second, press N, then right click and select trim to crop area. In order to create a 3D icon from a 2D shape, we need a shape, right? Keep in mind, you do not have to select anything while selecting the pen tools. Now draw a random shape. Now keep expanding the shape layer until you reach to the original path. Now do the same thing for our mask layer too. Keep expanding the mask layer until you reach to the mask path. Select the mask path and press Ctrl+C to copy. Now select the path of the shape layer and paste the path. The key difference here is we use mask path to mask out anything, where in the shape layer we use the same path to create something. And to create 3D, we need our path to be inside the content path. So this step is very crucial. The path must be inside the content path. Now for the next step, we need the shape layer to be a 3D layer. Before that, keep your eye on here. Now if I activate the 3D layer, two more settings appeared. Let me switch it off and on again and you can see geometry option and material option are now available. The geometry option is already grayed out, meaning we cannot use it until we can press on the change renderer and let's select Advanced 3D or Cinema 4D. In my case, I'm going to go for Cinema 4D because I like the result of Cinema 4D. And you can see all the setting of geometry options are now available. You can access the same composition setting if you press right click on your composition and select composition setting. From there, you can change the 3D renderer option too. Inside the geometry option, you will see a setting of extrusion depth. If you change this setting, you'll see nothing is happening until you start rotating the shape. And you can see your layer is now 3D and if you change the extrusion depth, it will change depth of your shape. I was supposed to create a 3D icon rather than a 3D shape. So let's do that. Press R to see the rotation setting. Right click on the orientation and select reset. Drag the shape layer at the bottom of all layers. Select your icon image layer and make it 3D layer. If you change the orientation of your shape layer, it is still rotating just itself. So we need to create a parent-child link. Drag the parent peak whip of shape layer and drag it to your image layer. If you now rotate your image layer, it will rotate the shape too. Personally, I don't like to rotate my 3D layer using my image layer. So right click, go to New and select Null Object. Make Null a 3D layer. Select the image layer. Now select the parent peak whip and drag it to your null object layer. Now if you rotate your null object layer, it will rotate the image and the shape layer too. The benefit of this system is you can animate the image and the shape together using the null object. And if you want, you can animate the image and the shape layer separately using their own control. So it is like having the full control over your objects. Now it is time to rename all the layer. Naming your layer properly will help you manage the project as it grows. So I strongly recommend everyone to rename their layer with something meaningful. Let's reset the orientation of our null object layer. It is time to animate the object. Let's start with scaling down the icon. Go to frame 0 and change the position of our icon. Since we want to animate the icon, so let's set keyframe for position, orientation, and rotation. Press Shift R to show the scale setting too. If you want, you can set the keyframe for scale too. Today, I'm not going to animate the scale, by the way. Go to 9 seconds and update the position of our 3D icon. In 9 seconds, I want to animate the orientation tool. By default, if you try to rotate your object, it will try to animate the orientation properties. But I don't like to animate the orientation properties. Rather, I like to prefer animate the rotation properties. Now go to 3 seconds and animate the rotation properties, but very slightly. Go back to 9 seconds. I want more changes on this frame, so I'm going to adjust the rotation value again. I think the setting is ready. It is time to play the animation. If you now try to play the animation like me, and if you struggle playing the animation, change the resolution from full to quarter or third, maybe depending on your PC. It will obviously downgrade the resolution, but we can at least understand the motion of our object that we have made so far. The animation looking very dull right now. Just select all the keyframe and press F9. It will change all the keyframe from linear keyframe to Bezier keyframe, which will add some life to the animation. If you notice now, you can see our animation is stopping at the 9 second all of a sudden. To fix this, change the position keyframe to the 10 second. So the rotation will stop at 9 second and position will stop at 10 second, which will improve our animation a bit. Now go back to 3 second again. I think we need to adjust some rotation value here too. Now it is time to update our animation path. Select Convert Vertex tool. Let's update our animation path from linear to something interesting. Keep in mind, curvy animated path will always improve your animation motion. I think I'm now happy with the current motion. Okay, let's go for the next step. If you hide the image icon, you'll see that our 3D layer is having a very vibrant color, and we can change this from fill color. Let's unhide the image. Select the shape layer. Let's change the fill color and select color from our image. The outer shape color is coming from the stroke. We can change the stroke color too, but we'll solve this problem in a different way. Right click on a blank space of your composition, go to new and select light. Point light is fine, press OK. Now you can see the outer shape is disappeared, but it is actually there. Change your view to custom view. Let's move our light in a 3D space. Now select active camera and you can see the outer shape is appeared again. Select two views from the right bottom control. This will give us two views of the same composition. Let's lock the composition of the left side so that it always preview the current view. On the right side, select top view. This will help us to position the light. Now we can change our light position while seeing the result on the left view. Press Ctrl D to duplicate our light and let's reposition it in a way so that we can have interesting light from the right bottom of our 3D icon. Play the animation and see where should we place our next light. In 414, I can see the light could have positioned at the top of our icon. So let's duplicate the light and let's reposition at the top of our 3D icon. Expand the point light and decrease the intensity. This should give us a very interesting result of light and shadow. Continue playing the animation, and in this case I can see in 511 I need one more light and duplicate the current light and let's reposition at the bottom of our icon and try to change the custom view if requires. I'm going to position the light at the bottom of the icon so that it can lit from bottom. At 8:15, the icon is very dark, so I'm going to select the top light, Ctrl D to duplicate, position on the right side of our 3D icon. I think I should increase the intensity. Not too much, I think I should decrease the intensity now. Play the animation and check if I missed anything. I think our 3D icon is properly lit around the time frame. Now it is time to add camera to our composition. Press right click on a blank space, go to new, select camera. I'm going to call this icon underscore cam. Default preset is fine, press OK. The camera is added and nothing special happened, so everything is good. Go to edit, then purge cache. This will clean up the cache created by After Effects, both in your HDD and the RAM too. This will be helpful for people with low configuration IDs. Depends on your PC configuration. This might take some moment. So now it is time to add trail to our 3D icon. Select the image and let's isolate it. It is just the image, not the 3D shape. Now let's add an effect and which is called echo, ECHO, and you can see nothing's happened because the effect does not work if your layer is in 3D. So we have to figure out a way to make it work. So let's select all the layers and let's press Ctrl Shift and C to pre-compose all the layer. What pre-compose does is take all the layers and make a new composition. Make sure you select move all attribute into the new composition. Now add the echo effect to this composition. Now the effect should work and you can see the result of the echo effect is already visible. Since our pre-composition contained a 3D layer, we should activate the collapse transformation. This will help us to add camera in this composition, though all the 3D layer are inside the pre-composition. So let's press Ctrl X to take the camera from the pre-composition and then press Tab and select the main composition. Now paste the camera. Now you can press C from the keyboard while the camera is selected and you can orbit the 3D composition. As you can see here, it will help us exploring the 3D composition even when we are at the parent composition. But if you do not activate the collapse transformation, you will not be able to explore the pre-composition from the parent composition using the camera. You can notice while we are orbiting the camera, the scene is actually rotating, but the content of the pre-composition is not rotating at all. So it is a must to activate the collapse transformation if our 3D layers are inside the pre-composition. Once you activate the collapse transformation, the scene will rotate as you orbit the camera. Let's activate the echo effect again. Change the echo operator to composite in back. Change the number of echo values to 10. As you can see, there are 10 echo of our pre-composition is already generated. I don't like the result, so change the echo operator to composite in front. Now it is giving us the expected result. Let's play the animation and check the result. So in 5.7, the result is clearly visible. Let's try to understand the echo effect. Here you can see we have 10 copies of our pre-composition. Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which is actually coming from the number of echo value. If you change the number to 20, it will generate 20 copy of our pre-composition. Now we can go crazy with this setting and let's set 40. And you can see 40 copies is already generated. Now focus on the gap between every copy. The gap between every copy is depending on the echo time setting. Right now it is creating copy after every 0.33 second. I want to change the value to 0.02. The gap should be decreased now, and as expected the gaps are smaller than before now. Let's change the setting to 0.015. The gap should be much smaller now. Now we have to change the number of echo from 40 to 100 to have bigger trail. So what we are essentially telling to After Effects is create 100 copy after every 0.015 second. I think I'm now happy with this result. Let's move forward to the timeline so that the effect is more visible. Now I want to fade out the trail at the end. For that we have to decrease the decay value. Let's change it from 1 to 0.95. As you can see, our trail is faded out now. So the trail looks very dull to me. So let's add some glow to the trail. Add a new adjustment layer. Now search for glow. Add the glow to the adjustment layer. The result is already interesting. Probably we can add another adjustment layer. Add another glow to this layer too. This time I will increase the radius of the glow so that we can have a spread glow in this layer. So we have two types of glow now. One is very sharp glow and another is kind of soft glow. Let's hide the soft glow adjustment layer and let's play with the setting of sharp glow adjustment layer. Now unhide the soft glow adjustment layer. We can play with the setting of this layer too. The setting will be different for every different images. So play with this setting and try to achieve something interesting. Once you are happy, let's move forward to a couple of seconds and check the result of the glow throughout the timeline. As you can see here, the glow is overexposed. Let's figure out which layer is causing the issue by hiding the adjustment layer one by one. It is the combination of both layers which is causing the issue. Let's go to the 1 second in the timeline. The issue is persisting here too. So what we can do is we can animate the glow effect to manage the overexposed glow effect. Select the sharp glow adjustment layer. Now, if you decrease the intensity value, we can manage the overexposed glow problem. So let's add keyframe for both glow intensity effect. If you cannot see the keyframe on the timeline, press U. It will show all the animated properties of the timeline. Go to 5 seconds. The result seems pretty good here. So we can copy the previous keyframe and paste on the 5 second for both layers. Go back to the previous keyframe by press and hold Shift key and click near the keyframe. We need to adjust the glow intensity here. So let's set the value to 0.5. For the soft glow, you can go for maybe 1 divided by 2. By the way, you can use the divide, multiplication, subtraction and addition operator while setting the value. Let's go to 1 second mark. The glow is too much here too. We need to add a keyframe here. We can set half of the value by dividing by 2. For sharper glow, we can also divide by 2 again. We can divide this soft glow radius value by 2 once more. Let's decrease the sharper glow value too. I think this looks good now. Let's go to 2 second mark. Here the glow seems too much. We're going to follow the same procedure and divide both values by 2 until it looks good. And once you are done, let's go to 3 second mark. The glow is fine here. Let's check 4 second and 5 second mark. These are good too. So let's go to 6 second mark. Here the glow is too much again. Let's divide both keyframe by the value of 3. Well, this is good now. So keep doing the same thing until you are happy with the whole timeline. And once all the adjustments are done, render the whole animation. And we are at the end of our tutorial. So if you have any query regarding the tutorial or anything, blast out the comment section. And thank you for staying with me and good night.